If I ever came across another shark, I figured I would have to get better with me sword. Better at slashing and swiping, cutting and poking, but it was exhausting practice. I needed some time to rest. I'm sure I'll get the hang of it. I cooked myself some fresh fish. Well, tried to cook, but it wasn't as easy as I thought. Then 'twas back on the seas with Old Star. With a day or two left before my first quest destination, I anchored my ship at a small but sturdy seapost. It sat on a large rock in the middle of the sea, with an old brazier standing tall in the middle to light the sailors' way. A very surprised man welcomed me as I docked my ship.
Well, son of a biscuit eater, a sailor.
Aye, you seem like you seen a ghost.
I'm just blown away. I ain't seen no sailors, no ships for weeks.
Merrick was his name. A squiffy, one-eyed, one-armed, and two-peg-leg ex-shark hunter. Well, megalodon hunter, just to be clear. Megalodons were much bigger than normal sharks. More strength, more speed, and more eyes, from stories told. It was also said they could break a galleon ship to pieces. But these were stories, of course.
After one took me legs, I could do it no longer.
I told Merrick about my first time with a shark. How it came out of nowhere. How I swam as fast as I could. And about how Henry Hook shot it right before it chomped me up.
Speaking of them fishies, have you got anything to eat other than fish? I'll pay you a good coin, a very good coin.
I didn't have anything other than fish, but I could see islands nearby. They'd probably have some food on them. I told Merrick I would go see what I could find for him. I anchored as close as I could to one of the islands. I was certain to find some type of food there. I carefully walked around, listening for a sign of life. And there it was. I took out the pistol Wednesday gave me and aimed it directly at the pig. It was sniffling the air with its snout and stared into the distance, then toward me, with its beady little cute little eyes. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't. There had to be something else here. So I kept exploring, but this time I wasn't so quiet with my footsteps. Then there was another sound, one I wasn't sure about, until it bit me. A snake! I suddenly felt my body weak and warm. I couldn't stand well on one of my legs, and my eyes were blurry, and I couldn't feel my lips. I didn't know how long I'd been out, but it felt like I had gotten a good flogging. The sun was starting to set, and I had to get back to Merrick with something to eat, cause I was starting to get hungry too. My vision was still blurry, but I found some fruit on the ground below some trees nearby. I was also trying to listen for the hissing of snakes because I did not want to get bitten again. I was still alive. I slowly struggled to walk back to my ship, Me eyes still burning, me body aching. I was getting closer and closer to shore. I could hear the crash of the waves. But I heard a different sound getting closer and closer to me. Click, clack, click, clack. Then crooked and gnarled voices. Weird sounds. Light footsteps. I turned around and it seemed human-shaped, but wasn't. It couldn't be what I thought I saw. The snake venom was making me see things. I took out my sword and started swinging in every direction as I tried to remember what I'd practiced, and hoped it would be enough. I felt my sword hit something a few times, so I kept swinging and slashing away. I kept on swinging. I took out my pistol and fired. Silence. I kept a defensive position until my eyes caught a glimpse of a glowing object. It was a skull. I picked it up and ran back to me ship. When I sailed back to the sea post, Merrick was standing in the same spot.
Took you long enough? Did you get anything? A sweet pork steak? A juicy chicken leg?
I handed him some fruit.
Ah, that'll do, I guess.
Then I showed him the skull.
What? Shiver me timbers! What in the Red Seas? 'Tis be telling true, I guess. There be a curse sailing the seas.
A curse? Merrick explained of the last sailor to visit him.
Aye, a curse. The poor lad was still shaken when he saw me. Said he survived an attack from a cursed ship. A large, dark ship that pierced out from the waters below. He said this vessel moves swiftly, without the rules of the wind nor sea. He said it was controlled by the undead. Fearless and untiring skeletons with only a hunger to destroy everything that sailed the seas.
It was like nothing I'd ever heard before. But this skull was hard not to believe. He said they be on the seas. Why were they on land? I couldn't make sense of it. Merrick didn't have any coin to pay me for the food I brought him, but he gave me his old pair of boots. He said they were his lucky pair. I'm not quite sure how lucky they'd be if he lost both of his legs. I lay down in me ship that night with too many thoughts in me head. Dreams slowly crept through me like a fever. Crackling laughter. A storm. The deep silence of the underwater abyss and hollow sockets awakening with obscure life. I could feel the life being torn away from me. Alas, it was just a nightmare. Or was it this skull? Was it magic? I stared at it. I could hear whispers, but I couldn't understand the words. I bet Madame Oya would know something. As the sun began to rise, I dropped the sails to get the package for Chester. I figured it wouldn't take me long. Then I could sail back to Morrow's Peak, get paid, and maybe find out more about this mysterious curse.